Level 1. The Pilgrim. You weren't born into greatness. You were born into dust. A small village, cracked hands, a life measured in harvests and hunger. You grow up hearing stories, not of kings, but of a city, Jerusalem, a place so holy that men walk for years just to touch its stones. And then, one day, everything changes. A traveler passes through your village, armor worn thin, eyes older than they should be. He speaks of danger on the road to Jerusalem, bandits, war, men who vanish and are never seen again. But then he says something else. There are knights now who protect pilgrims. Not nobles, not kings, warriors who took vows, poor, obedient, devoted. The Templars. That word sticks with you, not because of power, but because of purpose. Years later, when your parents are gone and the land no longer feeds you, you make a decision. You don't go to war, you go on pilgrimage. But deep down, you're not just walking toward Jerusalem, you're walking towards something else. Level 2. The Gate. You finally arrive, not as a hero, as a survivor. Dust-covered, exhausted, changed. Jerusalem is nothing like you imagined. It's louder, stranger, more dangerous. And then you see it. A fortress, simple, severe, marked with a red cross, the headquarters of the Knight Templar. You hesitate, because once you step forward, there's no stepping back. You approach the gate, knock once, twice. A guard opens. He doesn't greet you, he studies you. Not your clothes, not your strength, your intention. You ask to join. He doesn't say yes, he doesn't say no. He just says, "Come back tomorrow, if you still mean it." You don't sleep that night, because for the first time, you understand the weight of your own choice. Morning comes, you return. The gate opens. Level 3. The Stripping. They take everything, not violently, deliberately. Your old clothes, your belongings, your name almost. You are no longer who you were. You kneel. The room is quiet, stone walls, candlelight. Men in white cloaks with red crosses stand around you. They ask you questions, not about your skills, about your soul. Do you believe? Will you obey? Will you give up everything? Not most things, everything. You say yes, even though part of you doesn't fully understand what that means. Then comes the vow, poverty, chastity, obedience. No wealth, no family, no personal ambition. Your life is no longer yours. When you rise, you're not a knight, not yet. You're less than that. You're a servant. Level 4. The Squire. This is where most men break, not in battle. Here, you clean armor, carry water, feed horses before you feed yourself. You wake before sunrise, sleep after midnight. No praise, no recognition, just work, endless work. You watch the knights train, their discipline, their precision, their silence. They don't boast, they don't joke, they don't waste energy. Everything they do has purpose. And slowly, you start to change. Your body hardens, your mind sharpens. You speak less, observe more. And one day, a knight hands you a sword, not as a gift, as a test. Level 5. The Training. Now it begins. Real training. Brutal, relentless. You learn to fight, not for glory, for survival. Sword, shield, horseback. You fall again and again. You bleed, you fail, and no one comforts you. Because this isn't about talent, it's about endurance. Templars aren't the strongest men, they're the ones who don't quit. You train in silence, eat in silence, live in discipline. Weeks turn into months, months into years, until one day you realize something. You're no longer pretending, You've become one of them. Level 6, the Knight. The ceremony is simple, but heavy. You kneel, again, but this time it feels different. You've earned your place here. A cloak is placed over your shoulders, white, clean, marked with the red cross. You stand, a Knight Templar, not a soldier, something more. You are part of an order, a brotherhood, bound by oath, bound by purpose, bound by something the outside world doesn't understand. And almost immediately, you're sent to war. Level 7, the battlefield. There is no glory here, only chaos. Dust fills the air, steel clashes, men scream. You fight not as an individual, but as part of a machine. Templars don't break formation. They don't retreat, even when they should, because your vow is absolute, victory or death. You see things you can't forget. Friends fall, brothers you trained with, gone in seconds. But the line holds, because it has to. That's what you are now. Not a man, a shield. Level 8, the Brotherhood. War changes you, but the Brotherhood keeps you steady. You eat together, pray together, fight together. There's no rank in conversation, no ego, just shared understanding. You don't need to explain yourself here. They already know. And in a world full of chaos, that becomes your anchor. Level 9, the Command. Years pass, you survive. That alone sets you apart. You're given responsibility. Men look to you now, not because you demand it, because you've proven it. You lead, not with speeches, with example. Calm under pressure, decisive, controlled. You understand something now that you didn't before. Leadership isn't power, it's weight. Level 10, the reality. From the outside, the Templars look unstoppable, but inside, you see the cracks. Politics, pressure, power growing too fast. The order is no longer just warriors, it's wealthy, influential, feared. And that makes enemies. Power always does. Level 11, the fall. It doesn't happen on the battlefield. It happens quietly. Orders, arrests, accusations. Suddenly, the same world that once praised you turns against you. You are taken, questioned, tested in ways you never expected. Not with swords, with silence, with pressure. And in that moment, you realize something. You were never just fighting enemies. You were part of something bigger, something history will debate, but never fully understand. Ending. Years ago, you were just a villager looking for purpose. Now, you've lived a life most people couldn't imagine. You gave up everything for something invisible, something unexplainable, something real. So tell me, if you had the choice, would you take the oath?